There's nothing quite like a good movie, and there's especially nothing quite like a good movie projected onto a big screen. So let's crack open some old movies and watch them on a big screen. Some favourites of mine, some I've never heard of, some you've never heard of, some that will become favourites. Let's fire up the projector, pour a glass of wine, and sink into our chairs. I am Dr. James Morver, and in my dreams, I am the UK's leading film historian. Welcome to my picture house. For this screening, I have chosen one I really like the soundtrack for. Can't say the movie itself is one of my favourites, but I really love the soundtrack. It's My Fair Lady, starring Audrey Hepburn and Rex Harrison. It's the story of an up-himself linguist, Professor Henry Higgins, who takes a poor Cockney flower girl, played by Audrey Hepburn, Eliza Doolittle, and he tries to teach her received pronunciation to speak proper English. Ironic, because Rex Harrison was practically from Liverpool, where the accent is as far from received pronunciation as you can get. In Artford, Hereford and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen. I honestly don't know if Rex Harrison ever had a Scouse accent or not, but it's funny to think of him having a Scouse accent. It also stars Jeremy Brett, who went on to play Sherlock Holmes, and Stanley Holloway as Eliza's father. Directed by George Cukor, who did The Philadelphia Story, a little bit of Gone with the Wind, worked with Katharine Hepburn quite a lot. And according to the back of this, it did win some Academy Awards. It wasn't without controversy either. Firstly, the casting of Audrey Hepburn. Originally, they wanted Julie Andrews, who starred as Eliza in the original stage production. But the studios went, no, we don't want Julie Andrews. Who the hell is this Julie Andrews woman? No, we want a star. Let's go with Audrey Hepburn instead. And then, to make matters worse, they dubbed over Audrey Hepburn singing, which caused a massive hoo-ha. The other controversy was the ending, and I'll come back to this after we've watched the film, but it's not the original ending that George Bernard Shaw, the writer of the original play, Pygmalion, it's not the ending of that. It's not the ending he came up with. For this screening, I have chosen Campo Viejo a Rioja from Spain. I did look for something that was English and flowery to go with the themes of the English language and Eliza being a flower girl, but the supermarket didn't actually have anything that kind of fitted, so I decided to go down the route of The Rain in Spain Stays Mainly on the Plain, and went with a fruity Spanish red instead. I have often walked down the street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once so high, several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. The film was good as well. The film is definitely a top tier film. The casting, they didn't get Julie Andrews, but the casting was perfect. Rex Harrison, Audrey Hepburn, they have great chemistry together. Stanley Holloway doesn't get enough to do, but he is by far one of the most memorable parts of the film. He gets two of the best songs. Not necessarily the best song, because we all know that's On the Street Where You Live. It's Hiding Outside Your Window. But they're definitely two of the best songs. If I have any criticisms about the film, it's in the second half. It's the bit after the ball, which goes on for about an hour, and it makes the film feel like a 2-hour film that has been stretched a little too thin. The plot sort of trickles down into nothing, and it comes to its climax, and then it just sort of keeps going for a bit, and then you get the changed ending from Bernard Shaw's original. This isn't particularly the fault of this film. It's the 1938 version of the play which originally changed the ending. It doesn't work, I think, this ending. It doesn't work with, spoilers here, but Eliza and Henry Higgins, they have this big argument. She storms out. In the original, she goes off with her love interest, Freddie, played by Jeremy Brett in this version. She goes off with him, and she has a life owning a flower shop. In this version, she goes back to Henry Higgins. After all the abuse and the torments and the manipulation he puts her through, he's obviously a complete and utter... He's a horrible person. And Rex Harrison, who was allegedly awful to work with, perfect casting for this. But for some reason, she goes back to him, and that it doesn't quite work. And the fact that she goes back to him also, it undermines a lot of the film. It undermines a lot of the character as well. And the fact that the musical takes about 45 minutes to build up to this, after Eliza has left Higgins, it does make it feel, as I said, stretched out. Is it worth watching though? Oh, most definitely. It is one of those films. It's a musical, so it's obviously not going to be for everyone, but if you can tolerate a few earworms, if you like your old movies, if you love Audrey Hepburn, this is definitely a film I would recommend you go see. It's a film I'd recommend you seek out, find, get your projector, stick it on the wall, big screen, large as you possibly can, join in with the musical numbers. And what about the wine? The Campo Viejo. The cork was stuck in the bottle. The cork was very difficult to get out. I got it out eventually after about 20 minutes. But the wine was very good. It I don't know how to describe wine very well, but it tasted good. Did it go with the film? Yes. Yes, it did. And that's all that matters. Just packing up the camera and I had a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant thought. The Muppets My Fair Lady. The Muppets doing this musical, just as it is, maybe cut it a bit short, cut the ending a bit short, give it the original ending. But the Muppets doing this movie would be... oh, Miss Piggy as Eliza Doolittle, maybe Fozzie and Kermit as Henry Higgins and Colonel Pickering. Gonzo as Freddy, that would mean Miss Piggy ends up with Gonzo, but hey, what the hell. Oh, which Muppet could play Alfred Doolittle though? Oh. I'm struggling with that one. I'll get back to you.